Is the Edge of the Empire GM kit worth 20 bucks? Let's find out. Welcome to Tabletop Empire, my name is Nate, and today we will be taking a look at the GM kit for Star Wars RPG, specifically the Edge of the Empire version. Is it worth the price? What comes with it? What is on the GM screen? What is the adventure about? And do I recommend it? I'm really excited to dive into this. Blast like if you want to see more product reviews on the channel. And before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, our Patreon supporters. Your support gives me the ability to buy these products to review, to make these videos. So thank you so much for your generous and continued support. So when I opened the box that the package came in, this is how it was presented. There's a nice little cover sheet, the Debts to Pay adventure module, and the Edge of the Empire GM screen. So let's start with this GM screen. The whole thing seems to be made as the same material of the core rulebook / sourcebook hardcovers. It seems very sturdy. The side that faces the players has some beautiful art which can help set the mood for your player characters. The inside is neatly organized with loads of helpful info. I ran a session using this recently and it was definitely a helpful reference guide. Some info on this is very helpful regardless of being a veteran or a complete newbie to the game, such as the critical injury table and the melee and ranged weapon tables. Other info such as the dice symbols and the different dice names and difficulty such as easy, average, or hard, and so on will never be used by anyone with experience with the game. I don't want to give away the content to prevent it from being screenshotted and printed. I'm just going to censor some of the meat and potatoes, but here's the full layout of the GM screen and every piece of info. Page 1 contains dice symbols and dice names, difficulty levels, so like 1 purple die is easy and examples, 2 is average with examples, etc. Attack difficulty based on range / melee, range difficulty modifiers, and then 2 tables for spending advantage and triumph, and threat and despairs. This entire page is pretty much only helpful for newer players, honestly. And then we have page 2, which contains tables for ranged weapons and melee weapons and some weapon qualities, which is super helpful all around to have some common gear, all the stats right in front of you. Page 3 has the critical injury table, which again is very nice to have on hand. A table for armor and various types and stats, which can be a little helpful, but it's missing price and all the extra info as it's only name and soak and defense values. And then the rest of the page is action and maneuver options during combat, which is another thing that experienced GMs of the system probably won't use. Page 4 contains the vehicle critical hit table and damage control difficulties, which is used for healing ship hull or strain. Very helpful. There is the medical check difficulty table and silhouette comparison tables, which are both moderately helpful. One thing that's really nice about this though is that every single table in this has a reference to which page it relates to in the core rulebook. And the reason that this is nice is, let's say your player gets a critical injury, you can easily tell them, okay, go to Edge of the Empire and go to this page because it's right in front of you on your GM screen. Even though it may only save like 10 seconds, that's 10 seconds you're paused from the game and want to get back to it. So I really like that aspect of this. Overall, it is very helpful, though I feel about a quarter of it isn't going to be helpful for anybody with experience. I do plan to make my own GM screen. I've been working on it for a while. I haven't had time recently, but I plan to get that finished sooner than later. Eventually, it will be available to any Patreon supporters of any tier via my Discord. You can find a link to my Discord down below. However, in the meantime, this GM screen does do a really good job, and any newer player of the games will definitely love it. Now onto the pre-mid adventure, Debts to Pay. Normally, the pre-mid adventure modules for Star Wars RPG are typically in the $30 to $40 range. This, with the GM screen, was $20. And that may be because Debts to Pay is a lot shorter than the full-on adventure source books. I own a couple of them. Jewel of Yavin, for example, is about 94 pages. Debts to Pay is only about 30 pages, and about 7.5 of those are for the GM and not really a part of the story itself. The book says that this will last for 1 to 2 sessions, and while I have not had the chance to actually play it yet, based on skimming through it and other adventures that I've run, I'd imagine that this would last about 4 to 6 hours of gameplay. Verbatim from the first paragraph of the book, the adventure takes place after the PCs agree to undertake a task on behalf of Bargos the Hutt, a crime lord on the Outer Rim to whom they owe some obligation. What should be a matter of collecting money leads to a dark discovery and a fight for the PCs' lives against unexpected enemies. Reading through this adventure, the story does not disappoint, and I honestly think that my players are going to have a really fun time with this. The adventure also has 2 potential recurring nemesis that you can use throughout the rest of your campaign if you so desire. So is the GM kit worth it, and would I recommend it? Well, I 100% think that this is worth the price. Some GM screens are way more expensive than 20 bucks, and you get this plus a mini adventure for 20? great deal. The adventure seems fun, I'm excited to try to run it with my players. The GM kit is super helpful and it feels quality made. I would 1000% recommend this for any GMs potentially looking to get back into the game or start playing for the first time. Now for you experienced GMs, I would say that you could probably either take it or leave it. You may want the GM screen with the really cool art and another adventure module. However, you may want to put those 20 bucks towards a bigger adventure like the Jewel of Yavin or Chronicles of the Gatekeeper, or any of the many other options that this system has. But my goal with this video is to give you guys the information that you need to make an informed opinion on whether or not the GM kit is right for you. If you found this video helpful, please do me a favor and blast that like button. If you want to see weekly Star Wars RPG content, consider subscribing. And drop a comment down below. Let me know on whether or not you plan to pick up the GM kit, or if you already own it. Again, a huge thanks to our Patreon supporters. You guys are the reason that this video is possible, and we have another product review coming in just a few weeks. Thank you to everybody for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. But until then, and as always, may the Force be with you.